Okay, in the other video, I said I was going to tell you about my two grandfathers. Well, my other grandfather, my father's father, was a sailor in the British Navy. One of the stories that he told me was from 1945. And again, like my other grandfather, you have to understand the situation. In January, February, March 1945, there were, mostly American, 4,000 ships heading slowly towards Japan. Their aim was going to be to invade the country. Now, as you know, that didn't happen because America dropped 2 atomic bombs and Japan surrendered. But at that time, my grandfather was in his ship, and his main job was in the engine. In the engine, there was lots and lots of coal. And my grandfather and about 100 other guys had their shovel, and when the captain needed speed on the ship, okay, he's on the deck, and basically there's this thing here, and he goes, which is like a full speed, and my grandfather and 100 other guys has to shovel the coal into the boiler like this. Well, in 1945, in the Pacific Ocean, there were 2 main threats against the ships. The first one was the submarines, and the second one, towards the end of the war, the Japanese used kamikaze tactics. First one, submarine. There's a guy in the sonar room. He's looking at this round sonar. When they think a submarine is close, then the captain gives the command for full energy. And all of the guys in the engine room has to put the coal in the boiler as quickly as possible. My grandfather told me about one day. Firstly, the captain, I guess, thought there was a submarine. He wanted full power. 100 guys in the engine room are putting coal into the burner, into the boiler. 4 hours. Absolutely exhausting. Well, when that had finished, when the ship needed to slow down, my grandfather and 20 other guys had an order to go onto the deck because they had seen a kamikaze strike. So my grandfather, exhausted after shoveling the coal, ran up to the deck, and on the deck of the ship you have these big guns, okay? Now these big guns are to fight the planes. And my grandfather, one of about 20 other guys' job was to man one of these guns. And my grandfather said one time he saw in the distance like a fly. And my grandfather took the gun and started to shoot like this. Now, it was a fly at the start, but it's coming closer and closer and closer and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, can you imagine what this is like? There's at least 20, 30, 40 big guns on the side of the ship, and they're all trying to shoot down this plane. And my grandfather said the plane was getting closer and closer, but nobody could hit it because it's just like a small dot. So my grandfather's going like this. The plane's getting closer and closer and closer, and my grandfather said at last they shot it down. But he said that he could almost see the pilot, and the plane just went into the sea. And after that, my granddad said he just lay on the deck, and it was the most exhausting, the most adrenaline full day he had ever had.